Hello, my name is Mr. Casey. Today we're going to be reviewing Unit 5, A Natural Balance, and do some reading skills practice. Let's get started. Today's lesson we're going to talk about descriptive adjectives and how we use them to provide more interesting details. We're also going to try and understand how the author's viewpoint influences their writing and our understanding of someone's writing. And then we're going to use our new reading skills to better understand viewpoint, purpose, and meaning. Let's get started. So, first, descriptive adjectives. We use descriptive adjectives, to answer the question, what is the person, place, or thing like? Here's an example. The blue whale makes deep sounds. The adjectives, descriptive adjectives, help the reader to imagine in our mind people, places, or things. So we use adjectives to describe how something looks, how something sounds, how something feels, tastes, or smells, a person's mood, how they feel, and also how many. So we use descriptive adjectives for lots of things, and the more descriptive your adjectives, the more your language is understandable, the more we can understand what it is you're trying to say or write or communicate. And most times in English, the adjective comes before the noun you are describing. This is the opposite of Vietnamese. In English, we put the adjective before the noun. This large mammal is a fast swimmer. Large and fast are the two adjectives in that sentence. If your verb is a form of be, you can put the adjective after the verb. I know, crazy rules. The forms of be are am, is, are, was, and were. So the bat's cave is dark. Attacks on humans are rare. This is how we use descriptive adjectives. So you have two tasks here. Stop the video for 2 minutes. I want you to write down 5 descriptive adjectives to describe yourself. And then number 2, write down 5 descriptive adjectives to describe your favorite place. So stop the video for 2 minutes and do those 2 tasks. Next, let's practice. Let's look at the adjectives that we have together in the box, and use the adjectives to describe the noun. So take 2 minutes, stop the video, and place the correct descriptive adjective in the box for questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ready? Number 1, the bat made a loud sound as it flew out of the cave. Number 2, the parrot's feathers are bright and colorful. Number 3, the slimy worm slipped out of my hand. Number 4, the tiny mouse scampered through the leaves. Number 5, the graceful eagle soared easily through the air. Let's practice one more time. Again, here are your 5 descriptive adjectives. Put them in sentences 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'll give you 2 minutes. Ready? Number 6, the gray bat lives in dark caves. Number 7, the blue whale is huge. Number 8, gray wolves travel many miles a day to hunt for food. Number 9, the jaguar is a strong swimmer. Number 10, many animals are endangered. We will learn more about endangered later. So these are descriptive adjectives that help us understand more when we are writing and when we are speaking. So let's talk about how we describe an endangered animal. Let me say that word one more time. Endangered. Your turn. Endangered. Good. Okay. Many animals are in danger of vanishing from the world. So find out about an endangered animal and describe what it looks like and where it lives. Okay, so here's a list of endangered animals around the world. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 tasks here. Here's a chart at the bottom. What does my animal look like? Where does my animal live? What does my animal eat? What other interesting information do I know? And why is my animal endangered? Why is it in danger of vanishing or disappearing from the world? So here's your task. Number 1, choose an endangered animal from this list and fill in the chart below to describe that animal. Number 2, choose your favorite animal and fill in the chart to describe it. So take 2 minutes, maybe 5, stop the video, and fill in the chart with an endangered animal from the list and your favorite animal. Okay, ready? Next. Before we read, it's very important to understand the key vocabulary. Okay, so let's talk about some of these words. First, we have classified. Your turn. Classified. Good. The next one, endangered. Your turn. Endangered. Good. Next one, environment. One more time. Environment. Okay. Next, extinct. Extinct. Next one is illegal. One more time. Illegal. The next one is pollution. One more time. Pollution. And here we have population. One more time. Population. And the next one, species. Species. Okay, so now we've learned about the vocabulary. You can read the meanings on the page here, okay, and also the pronunciation. Now, let's move on to understanding the author's viewpoint. Analyze the author's viewpoint. What is the author's viewpoint? It is the author's attitude towards the topic. They sometimes don't say it directly, so we need to look for clues. Okay? One clue to the author's viewpoint is the purpose for writing. Why is the writing happening? They may give a lot of information about a topic, or they may believe that the topic is important. So their opinion or statement of belief indicate how the author feels about the topic. Strong words that cause clear feelings are also clues. So, for example, the word weed causes a strong feeling negatively about a plant. A weed is a plant that we don't like, we want to get rid of. So, what clues to the author's viewpoint do you see in this passage? Let's practice. Take 1 minute and read the passage, okay? And look at the author's viewpoint. What is it that they're trying to say, and why are they writing? Okay, so what you see here that what they're trying to say is that the author wants to protect the environment. That is their purpose for writing, and it is their viewpoint. We can agree or disagree, but this is what they want to do. So the author's purpose, to inform readers about how people endanger the environment, and then clues, how do we know this? Their opinion, activities like these greatly affect plants and animals in their environment. So these are clues about the author's purpose for writing and their viewpoint, okay, their attitude towards the topic. So we use this to understand more about reading. So now we will practice. In Unit 5, page 326 to 335, is an article called A Natural Balance. This is what we call an environmental report. Okay, here we go. An environmental report is expository nonfiction. meaning it's true. It gives facts about a topic related to the environment. Now, do we have to agree? No. The author has a purpose for writing, okay, which we just talked about, and we need to understand their viewpoint, and then we can decide whether we agree or disagree, and whether we learn something from the author. The report is written to inform readers about a topic important to the author. While researching the facts, the author forms an opinion. What do they think about the topic, and uses strong words to show those beliefs. Knowing the author's purpose, beliefs, and feelings will help you understand the author's viewpoint. So, here's an example. Okay, this is part of the text. Think about all of the plants and animals in neighborhood parks. What happens to the population of these plants and animals if the parks turn into apartment buildings? These plants and animals might die or move someplace else because of increased development. So, what is the author's opinion and what is their purpose for writing? Okay, so before we read A Natural Balance, what do you think is the author's purpose for writing? Take 1 minute and think about that. Okay, so when I read this, this is what I think. Here's the clue. This sentence here, okay, is a clue to the author's viewpoint. So I think what the author is trying to say is that she wants to protect endangered plants and animals. So let's read this environmental report, and now we will figure out what it is that is her viewpoint, her opinion, and her purpose for writing A Natural Balance. Here we go. Take 2 minutes and read page 2 of this report, Our Effect on the Environment. Okay, ready? Here's page 3. Are we helping or harming? And here's some vocabulary that will help you understand more about this page. So take 2 more minutes and read this page of the report, and then we'll get to some questions about the report. Next, page 4. What's harming the habitat? Habitat. Okay. Take 2 minutes and read this page, and then we will talk about questions from pages 1, 2, 3, and 4 of this environmental report. Ready? Let's answer these 3 questions about the text in your notebook. Number 1, cause and effect. What are 2 details from the text that show how people can help the environment in their neighborhood? Number 2, explain how might buildings that replace parks affect plant and animal populations. Number 3, paraphrase, or to make short, tell in your own words what threats plants and animals face today. Okay, take 3 minutes, go back through the first 4 pages of this environmental report and answer those 3 questions. Here we go. Let's answer the questions. Number 1, the cause and effect. So, 2 details that they gave us in the text on page 2. Remember that everything we do affects the environment. We are part of the environment, so all of our actions have consequences. Number 2, they talked about an example. Planting flowers and putting out seeds can help birds. Birds have something to eat. Now there are more birds. The birds and the flowers are part of the environment. They help each other and they help us. Number 2, explain. Animals might die or move someplace else because of increased development. This was her opinion that she said in the environmental report. Okay. And number 3, in your own words, what threats plants and animals face today? here's my idea. Animals and plants face extinction because of habitat loss, increased species, pollution, population growth, and overcrowding. Those are examples that she uses in the text to help us understand her opinion and her reason for writing. Okay, now, next page. Are we solving the problem? Take 3 minutes, pause the video, and read this page about are we solving the problem? Here's some vocabulary that helps us understand what the words are on this page. And now we have an image of some endangered animals. Okay, a black rhinoceros, a Mitchell's satyr butterfly, and a golden-shouldered parrot. So, here's questions that we need to answer from the last 3 pages of the text. Okay, 1. What is the main idea and details? So, 3 ways that the Endangered Species Act helps protect species that are threatened or endangered. And then, number 2, compare and contrast. The U.S. government labels species either threatened or endangered. Explain the difference. Okay, so take 3 minutes, pause the video, and answer these 2 questions in your notebook. Here we go. Again, these are my answers. Your answers might be a little different. That's okay. So, 3 ways the Endangered Species Act protects species that are threatened or endangered. It is illegal to collect, harm, or damage the habitat of any endangered species. So this is how the Endangered Species Act helps protect. Okay. Number 2, what's the difference between threatened and endangered in the Endangered Species Act? A threatened species is less at risk than endangered ones. Endangered is the highest risk, meaning they are almost extinct. Okay? A threatened species is in trouble. An endangered species is in big trouble. Okay, next, read about the Endangered Species Act and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. I'll give you 2 minutes to read this page. Now, next page, we see some images about endangered plants. Okay, plants and animals are both at risk. So, here's your questions. Look into the text. The sequence of events. Tell what happened to the bald eagle population, that was on the last page, from 1963 to today. And number 2, what is the author's viewpoint? According to the author, why is it hard for people to agree on how to protect endangered or threatened species? So look back at the last page, answer these 2 questions. Okay, so let's answer these 2 questions in the notebook that you see on the page here. Number 2, is your idea of the author's viewpoint the same as it was before you read the report? Remember, before we read, we decided what we thought the author's viewpoint would be. So is our viewpoint still the same? And then number 3, now that we've read the whole environmental report, what is the author's purpose for writing the report? Remember, again, we can agree or disagree, but what we want is to understand the author's purpose. Why did she write this environmental report? So take 2 minutes and write down the answers to these in your notebook. Here we go. Let's start with the 2 questions that you see on the screen. Okay? The 2 questions. First, what happened to the bald eagle population? The bald eagle population increased so much that it was removed from the threatened and endangered species lists. That was in the text. Okay? We knew that happened. And number two, her viewpoint is we cannot agree on environmental protections because they affect human actions and our way of life. Everything that we do is part of the environment. So, should we stop doing things that make us money because it affects the environment? That's a very difficult question to ask. Okay, number two, is your idea of the author's viewpoint the same as it was before we read the report? I think yes. I think that the author is most concerned about protecting endangered plants and animals. Do you agree? It's up to you whether you agree or disagree with what her opinion is, but I think this is her viewpoint. Number three, what is her purpose for writing this environmental report? To help us understand the impact of all human actions on the plant and animal world, and to inform us of the environmental consequences of our actions. Again, everything we do affects the environment around us. Our habitat is shared with animals and plants. We all live together in the same place. And so all of our actions have consequences. And that's what she's trying to tell us about in this environmental report. Excellent. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.